Say hello to Trevor. This is my version of the ultimate off-grid camper, and I'm going to show you around. Let the Royal Mail van go. Okay, let's start with the outside. So it is an L2H2 Transit, which means it's kind of medium height, medium wheelbase. The L3 has another partition on top and clearly is a bit longer. So these Transits are notorious for getting rusty underneath, especially the white ones, as all Transits are this sort of age. So we've done some remedial measures. We have put some stone chip all the way around the kind of outside where the arches are, to try and reduce any of that rust. There is still some, and I'll be really honest with this review so that people can see exactly what's wrong with it, so that no one gets the wrong idea, and what's right about it. There's nothing actually wrong with it, but I'll show you around properly. So you can see the little bits of surface rust here, and the wheel arches are the main place for that. So you always get some. I'll show you right around now. I've had this van looked at by a mechanic down the road a couple of times. Once before I went to Europe, and we went 8 weeks traveling in this, and since then I've also had it kind of serviced twice. I've had it serviced before, serviced after. He's had it up on the ramp and said the underneath is rusty, as it says on the MOTs, like they all are with surface rust, but there's nothing that would fail an MOT at this point. So that's looking good. Again, next wheel arch, you can see here little flaky bits, so this could really do with some Hammerite, some white Hammerite paint, but other than that, structurally fine. And then we'll go to the roof. You can see I've put the roof bars on. I had to get these, I had to go and find these because they do specific ones that mount onto this rail here, so that we could put the solar panels on. So we have 350 watts, they're 175 watts each, and there's two of them mounted on the roof, and the cables are here and they run down into the van, which I'll show you afterwards. And then you do have a spare roof bar at the front, because there is a max air fan mounted just there, which again you'll see from the inside, but you could, if you really wanted to, put some beams across here, so that you could put extra stuff on the roof, some roof boxes, etc. Moving around, back doors, there's a little split here in the back door, which we've fixed from the inside, and I'll show you that when I open the back and show you on the inside. But we've basically reinforced the whole door so that doesn't cause any structural issues at all. It wasn't before, but just to make safe. Then there is a tow bar block here, so you can put a tow bar onto the back. I never fitted one because I never had any bike racks or anything, but if you wanted a bike rack or anything like that put on, you can fit one on really easy. Okay, around to the other side, I'll show you the same on these wheel arches so that you see everything. So like I said, little flaky bits just around the wheel arch, but other than that the paint is actually in pretty good nick, really. And under the wheel arch again, just so you've got a good view. And on this side, on the outside, I've got a direct 4x4 awning, which covers the width of the side door and then comes all the way out. It comes out 2 meters, so it'll come right out, comes right out past here, and then you've got a full awning that you can put up. Legs come out, it's really easy to put up, you can pretty much do it on your own. We've had the only things that I've had done to this van since I've had it, new wing mirror, because someone smashed that one off when we were in France. So it's got a brand new wing mirror and case, and this window, because if you ever get these hit by a car, they can spin round and smash these windows, which is what happened to us. So I had this window put in new. And then last wheel arch, not so bad, this one pretty good really. No rust flaking off on this one, and underneath nice and solid. The only other thing to note on this van is that I've just put, quite literally just put 4 brand new winter tyres on, and you can see the little winter sticker there, and you can obviously Google the brand, but These are brand new, done less than 100 miles, so they've still got the little rubber tags on. You'll see the little, the little rubber furry bits. So they are quite literally brand new. So that saves you about £450 because that's what it cost me to put all 4 brand new on. And then the front here, all the lights work, but I'll show you. I'll turn it on now, and I'll show you all the lights work and everything. And I think that's everything on the outside. Now what I will do whilst we're on the outside is show you me starting the van, and I'll pop the hood so you can see underneath the, pop the hood, very American, so you can see underneath the bonnet. So to open the bonnet you need the key. Key goes in here, and then you twist it left, then you have to twist it right, I think. Might need to do this without the cameraman. There we go. Okay, so like I said, you have to twist left, then right. It does tell you on there, it's got some numbers. And then here's everything in here. Very simple engine, and the reason we kind of bought it was because we wanted something that was completely bomb-proof. So nice and clean and tidy in here. You got the Duratorque engine, which is pretty much what everything uses, and I'll show you in here when it's running now. But just so you can see all the levels and everything, they're all topped up and full. Nothing's leaking, no oil leaks, no nothing, and the engine runs lovely. Right, let's take that key and start her up. So I'll show you that all the lights work in here now. A nice cold start so you can hear everything. So all the lights on the dash work. No lights left on apart from the door open and the orange light for fuel. And she starts up lovely. Okay, and then in here all we've got is this cable, which is plugs into there, and that charges your battery in the back. You've got a Kenwood aftermarket stereo. You could put whatever you want. It's got a big double din space here, so you could put a big screen in, whatever you wanted. And let's go show you under the bonnet whilst we're here, and then I can turn the engine off so you can actually hear me. Okay, now that we're happy with that, I can turn it off. I will show you under here is where the battery lives for the van. So instead of being under the bonnet, the battery is under this seat. There's actually a double space, so there's another space here. If you can see that. Ow. There you go. So there's another space here where you can actually put a secondary battery, but you could also put a diesel heater here, which is what I was planning on doing, but I haven't. There's a brand new rubber mat in here. The reason I bought this is because there is a bit of a hole there where clearly the person using this van before had boots on all the time, so it doesn't go through to the floor or anything silly. It's just he's worn through the rubber, so I bought a brand new rubber mat that fits in the front, big heavy duty one, so that makes the front look nice and tidy. Okay, then in here, very simple but very practical, these vans. You've got cup holders everywhere. Your lights here, which I'll turn on and show you the lights working because I almost forgot. Super simple controls on the front. And then you've got loads of space. For a camper van, they're perfect because you've got this, so you can put your cups, your whatever you want in here. Then you've got storage up there. You've clearly got storage under here. Same on this side, storage under there. You've got the cubby hole, which has the book in it. So Ford book in here with some paperwork. I don't have a full service history because I never had one when I bought it. But you can see the MOT history online just by putting in the reg on the Gov website. And I think that's about it for the front. Oh, I have left the two, so it's still got two double front seats in, which was really handy for us. Like if we were ever taking the dogs or people, picking up people, we still had 3 seats in the front. However, this could and possibly should be swapped out for a single swivel, and that would give you lots more space, and you'd have almost like a working space here with that 3rd seat, and that would also give you more room to get into the back from the cab, whereas at the moment it's quite small. You have to get through this gap, which is possible but not ideal. So if you wanted more room to get through to the back, I would take this out and put a single swivel in, which wouldn't be too hard. They do the bases for them, they're pretty easy to do. And I will take you around and show you. No, I'll do the lights first. So let's turn the ignition on. Lights on. And you can see the lights button on there. And then let's put the hazards on. So you've got flashing, 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 flashing. You can see my side lights are on already as well. And then round to the back. Flashing, side light on there. Flashing, side light on there. Then I'll put main beam on. There you go, and you can see main beam, and I think that's it. But clearly when you come and view this thing properly, you can check the lights again, and I'll turn those off, turn the hazards off, turn the ignition off. Cool, let's go have a look on the inside. Okay, I'll show you the boot area first. So, open here, and open here. And this is your giant boot space. So, we've painted up all the doors, and I told you how we'd kind of reinforce these doors. So underneath this panel there's framing all the way around here to reinforce this door, so it's completely solid, so that split doesn't cause you any issues. There's no water that can get into the van, so you're perfectly safe for any water leaks or anything like that. And then we've put these big solid 18mm panels all the way down the back doors, with the idea then that you can mount anything to these. So you can mount stuff if you wanted to these inside the van, you can mount stuff to these ones like we've done here. We mounted this. Then in the boot we had a little coat hook here, and in this side was where we housed the toilet, the cooker and other bits, like loads of stuff. There's a lot of room in here. And then in this side you've got your gas bottle, which connects to your boiler so that you have hot water, and a shower. So let's take that out, show you exactly how this works. It hooks up on there, and to make it really easy, I'll push that right open. Okay, so we've got shower there, gas there. All you got to do is turn the gas on like that. I turn this off obviously, and the reason we put this in the boot is because then you shower whenever you're showering, the gas is on, and when you're back in the van you can turn the gas off. Okay, then that's all you need to do. The batteries and everything are in that. There's 2 big batteries just in here, just in the bottom of this. You set this, I've just set it to max for winter at the moment, and then you don't need to do anything else apart from turn this button on. And we got a shower head with a button so you don't waste any water, and then just click that, and voila. And you can see, well, I don't know if you can see or hear, but that is on, boiling hot. And this water is now steaming hot shower. There you go. And we'll turn that back off. Simple as flicking that button, shower turns off and the water pump stops. And then all you need to do after that is twist your gas shut, and then this shower comes off, wraps around here and goes back onto there. Super simple, loads of space, and then you've got all this space then for boxes. We had big boxes that fit in here. We had 4 massive boxes. We had a body board. Oh, and I have also got in here lights. There you go. So there's an LED strip all the way around the roof, so that lights this up really bright. Clearly it's daytime at the moment and you can't really see, but that lights that whole back up really bright. There is a remote to go with them. I just leave them on one colour, but you could change the colours if you want. I suppose I can demonstrate that now. So red, white, blue, whichever you want. You can make them flash, do whatever you want. The little Bluetooth switch is there, so as long as you point at it from the boot, and then that is drilled in and cabled and running through here, through that beam, and that runs to our power, which I'll show you at the front now. I'll put that back on there. Close that doors. Okay, and finally, inside the van. So, inside the van, we have this. There we go, let the exposure work itself out. So we've got the kitchen cooking area here. With this side table, you just unhook that, pull it up, that locks up, and you've got a nice big cooking space. We've got a tap, again plumbed in, so that you've got hot and cold water, and an undermounted sink, so that you've got loads of worktop space. And I'll show you this working. There you go, and the tap does that way, and a spray to save you water. And you can hear the pump pushing the water around the system. And then when you're done with that, that goes back on there. It does go back on, a lot easier when you're, there we go, with 2 hands. So yeah, you've got loads of countertop space really. And like I was saying before, if you had this as a single swivel seat, you would be able to turn that around and probably you'd be able to work off this. Because at the moment I've built it so that it sits, gives you the most space that you possibly can. And this allows you to cook inside as well, which I've done plenty of times. And to take that down, you simply push these 2 latches, one there and one there, and this comes down. I'll do that now quickly. So latch and latch. There we go. And now I have built this cupboard so that this door you can open from the outside. It's on magnet so it doesn't open, and you can see underneath, and this is our full plumbing system. So we have fresh water here, and that shower in the back you'll be really impressed with only uses on that spray mode that I had it on. I was running it for 20 minutes earlier just to make sure the hot water and everything was working, and also running it then plus that tap, and we've only used 5 or 6 litres. This is a 20 litre fresh water tank, and I've got a 20 litre grey water tank which runs straight from the sink into here. They can both be emptied really simple from here. All you do is obviously undo these little straps, and then you take it out and you can fill it up from any tap hose. You don't need to like run a hose all the way to the van. It's really simple to just take that out and you can walk it to any freshwater point, so that's really handy. And then this door closes from the outside, and I'll show you it from the inside in a second, but actually whilst I'm here I may as well show you our wardrobes and storage space. So we've got a drawer system here, 6 drawers with loads and loads of storage space and a big wardrobe. So in here we've got the bottom drawer, which is latched on this side, so make sure it doesn't open. Gosh, that's being quite hard to get off. Yeah. There we go. So that pops off. And in this bottom drawer we have the fridge, and this is a pretty massive freezer, sorry, so fridge and freezer. Opens it up, you've got fridge on one side, freezer on the other, and I can turn it on just to show you it working. That's interesting. It's plugged in. Just make sure it's plugged in. Plugged in. Should still have power. apologies, cable wasn't plugged in at this end, so there we go. Fridge turns on, and then you've got your temperatures here. You can hear it whirring up. Chew, bless me. So you've got the freezer side here, which you can set the temperature. That's telling me the current temperature is 6, and then the fridge side here, and you can put it on eco mode like we do. And that was using this when we were running it full time. When we were in Europe, we were running it all day, every day, overnight as well. It was using about 25% of our battery for a whole day, so overnight included. But yeah, simple to turn on and off as that. There we go. And then this drawer just pushes back in. Latches on this side, and you've got this little latch, like I said, that goes on there. Okay, then in here we use these as our clothes drawers. So you've got a big drawer this side here, which was a clothes drawer. They latch again with these marine latches, so they don't come open when you're driving at all. This one, another big clothes drawer, again you can hear them latching. Then on this side, big deep drawer, which was pots and pans for us. Middle drawer, which was cutlery and stuff like that. And then in here we had some washing stuff, etc. Then this switch here is the main lights. There you go, and you've got 6 puck lights that light up the entire backspace, so you've got loads and loads of light in here. I'll leave those on for a minute actually, so you can see a bit better. I'll just put that back down. I'll show you the power properly in a second. Okay, then under here you've got power. So I've got your 240 here that you can plug into and charge stuff 240. That's a wireless charging top there. That's plugged straight into the power, and you just switch it on, loads of USBs. And then I've got this 12 volt system with 2 USB-C ports and a USB-A, so you can charge loads of stuff off there, and it charges really quickly. This is where your wire for the lights comes in. These are magneted down so they don't rattle when you're driving, because I hate stuff rattling. This is just another storage space under there. Then here we've got the wardrobe, again on another little latch, and magnets, because the magnets weren't quite strong enough when I had big suits and stuff in here for a while. We've put a mirror, hello, on there, and a wardrobe with a hanging rail clearly in there. And there is a smoke detector and a carbon monoxide sensor. Clearly we knocked one of them off, so it's not back on there, but we do have both sensors in here. That latches back up. Oop, let's put that there for a second so I can do this, because I need 2 hands. There we go. Okay, then moving on from that, you can see we've got the max air fan up the top, and I'll just show you with the remote. Turn that on. Ooh, turn the remote on. Now turn the fan on. Spinning up. If we can get focus on that, but there you go, you got 40% air out, air in. You can drop that down to 30, ramp it right up, 60, 70, 80. That tells you the room temperature inside and the temperature that it's set at, so it will come on and off with a certain temperature. So the room temperature is 12 and it's set at 19, so when it gets hotter than 19 it should turn on. But you can have a play around with that. That just goes on there, and when you want to turn it off you can do there, and that will come down and turns off nicely. Okay, now you can see our curtain system. So we've got a curtain rail that runs along there, curtain that goes up at here, and that covers off the front area, so that if you want to just park up in town somewhere, you don't want people seeing in, you can just pull that curtain and then it kind of looks like it's just a normal van parked up, because we didn't want to be super obvious. Then up here you've got loads of storage, and then these were what we used for window covers, which is like bubble foil. That makes a massive difference when you're in really hot countries and really cold countries, to keep the van warm. And we put little double-sided Velcro around the windows, on the window frame seals there, just to stick them on. And they worked really well, but you could probably do a more proper solution and get them with some nice fabric and stuff around them, but we just use them with the foil. Some little little lights with some clips that you can hang little photos and stuff on. They're just powered by little AA batteries in there. Okay, inside here is our sink and this sort of area. Now this is where we stored kind of cleaning products, stuff like that. You could put another, if you really wanted to, you could put another tank, freshwater tank in here, but we kept another one of those freshwater tanks in the boot so that we always had one full in the boot. Sorry, that's the freshwater. One full in the boot and one in here that we were using, and then when that emptied, we'd put the full one in, then we could take that to fill up. Under here you'll see the water system, really, really simple. We've got a SureFlow pump with an accumulator, filter set up so that the cold water, fresh water comes out of here, through this pipe, through the accumulator, and then runs, one of the pipes runs straight up to this tap, so you've got cold running to the tap, and then the other pipe runs through the van, somewhere down there, runs through the van, out to the back, through the hot water system, and then comes back from the hot water system as a hot pipe, and then the hot pipe runs up there. So that's how we get hot water from the back and the front. As you can see, these took a little while to fit. Doesn't affect anything. It's just my slightly bad measuring, clearly, to start with. Okay, like I said, not hiding anything. We've then got, I'll show you the kind of decorative pieces. So we put these, well actually my girlfriend I should put these cork boards up. There was another one there, that one's come off. So if you'd like to buy another one, you can get them off Amazon, they're like 10 quid. You can stick them on there, and then she had little pins, and we stuck all of our photos and pictures from whilst we were traveling up there. That window's got a curtain covering it so you can't see in through the window. Now we've got the main electrical system, which I'll show you. We've got these cushions on top, so that this is your seating area, but I'll show you the electrical system first. So you can take this panel off if you just want to have a quick look inside, and then if you want to have a proper look inside, you hold that up with this one. So this will make a lot more sense once I do that. There we go. So that just sits there, holds the whole thing up. Now I wanted to keep this electrical system as simple as possible and as break proof as possible, so I tried something new with this van build and used the Blue Yeti AC200P. Now this has everything that you would get if you built a system yourself, with the batteries, the inverter, the battery to battery charger, the solar MPPT charger. Everything's already built into it. It comes with, trying to show you this as easy as I can. So it's got two wireless outputs on top. It's got two AC outputs. So that's where this one runs up to here, like I showed you, and that's where our plugs are. On here, we've got like a car charger, fag lighter, whatever you want to call it, output. That runs straight to the fridge, so that's what the fridge runs off. And then here, this is what we would call our everything output. This is the RV, the camper van output. So I had to wire this myself, but you get this plug. This then runs straight to my 12-volt fuse box here. And then everything else, including the fridge, because that's run off 12-volt as well, everything in the van is run off 12-volt. So there is nothing running off 24-volt apart from if you want to charge your computers and stuff, which is why we've only got the one kind of plug system. Everything else runs off 12-volt, which saves loads of power. It also keeps it really simple, because all you've got then is a bunch of fuses in here. And so if anything goes wrong, I've got a fuse box that lights up red. So if your fuse for your lights blow, it'll come up red, and you can just change the fuse. Apologies, the camera stopped recording there. It only does 30 minutes at a time. So like I was saying, it's just a single 12-volt system. There's no battery banks, there's no big fuses or anything like that to fix. It's literally just fuses that go into this fuse board here. So if anything goes, all you do is have to replace a fuse, and then nothing else can break. So your inverter, everything else is in here. So you've got a 2,000 watt inverter. It's a 200 amp hour 2,000 watt hour power supply, and you can charge this a few different ways. So that cable I showed you earlier that runs all the way through behind here, you can actually see it there, and plugs into the fag lighter at the front, that charges whilst off the car, whilst the car's driving. You you can then charge off the solar, which I believe I've got it set at the moment. So we should be getting a tiny amount of solar because it is, yeah, there we go. So we're getting 21 watts in at the moment, and we're using 13 from the lights. And so this whole system tells you exactly what's coming in. Over here you've got adapter, so that's if you put an AC plug. So you've got this box here, which this just comes out, I've just stored it in there. But you can basically, this is just a charger, so you can plug that into a normal 240 3-pin plug in the wall or from an extension, or if you're at a campsite and you want to plug into one of theirs, you can get a little adapter from the leisure charger, the 110 volt, that then goes to a 3-pin. And that'll be able to charge this, and that'll charge the box up to 100% within like 2 hours, I think. And then on this side over here, on the bottom right corner, I'll try and wait for that to focus, that tells you how much AC power is coming out. So if you turn on this one, so you're charging stuff with a 3-pin plug, that'll tell you how much is coming out. So it keeps it really, really simple. Again, to change this around, you just go to settings, and then you can change what's charging the thing. So at the moment the input source is PV, which is solar. You can change it to car so that it's charging off the car when we're driving. And then you can change whether the DC is on or off. So if I go back, you can tell the DC, so that's a 12 volt on at the moment. If I wanted to turn that off, there you go, you can see my lights just went off. Turn it on, my lights and everything come back on. And the same with the AC, so I can turn the AC off so that currently there's no AC being run at all. And then if I want to charge stuff with my 3 pins, I just press AC on. So your power system is really, really simple, but really, really powerful. And we, like I said, I ran this van. When we were in Europe traveling, would go for a 3-day stint without having to do any charging whatsoever, just using the sun and running the fridge and everything full time. Then we would either have to kind of go stationary for a day and just let the sun charge up, because whilst we were in Europe over the summer, it would charge up 65 or so % just off the solar if we were stationary all day. Otherwise, we'd have to do a driving day, charge up from the driving if we were kind of moving around, or you could go to a campsite and plug in and run. We never actually had to go to a campsite. We had enough solar whilst we were traveling in Europe. We went for 8 weeks without going to a campsite, apart from the very end, when the last 3 days when we were waiting at Dover, waiting at Calais, we went and stopped in a campsite and we charged it up then. But other than that, we just used the solar and driving, and we managed to do the whole 8 weeks. So you get a lot of solar. 350 watts is a lot on the roof for this such a small van and really low output. So I think that's about it for the technical stuff. The last few things I need to show you. That just sits back on there like that. That seat cover goes back on there. Now here you've got your table for eating or working. It's got 2 magnets, one there and one here, to hold it in when you're driving, and they're quite tight. And then that just pulls out, comes all the way out until it sits there, and you can eat and drink and work, do whatever you want. It does come out a bit further and you can go to there, and then that's just on rollers. That just goes back in until the magnets clip. There you go, and that's pretty solid. Under this side, under this cushion, again, you've just got loads more storage, big massive box full of storage, and like you said earlier, you can see where the water pipes go into the boot. And then the final thing to show you is the bed. If I try and set the camera up somewhere you can see. Let's see where I can put this. Possibly over here. Okay, you should be able to see now me doing the bed. So I've got 2 cushions here for the bed. They're 2 separate ones for a reason, because this bed slides out. These are 3-inch foam cushions, and then they've got a memory foam mattress topper, single memory foam mattress toppers wrapped on top, so that they are super, super comfy, and there's about 5 inches of like foam between you and the bed, obviously. Now this bed, simple, 2 handles. You just lift it up because it locks in on these rails. There's 2 rails, one other side, which holds the bed up. You just lift it up and whoop, with a little bit of wiggling, there we go. Pull the whole bed out, and then it sits down onto the rails just like that. So it sits down onto the rails. It also rests kind of here on this and this. There we go. Make sure that it's out properly. And then all you need to do is pull your cushion, and you've now got a bed. Now, we were traveling with dogs, so we wanted to make sure that everything in the van was assumed to at some point going to get dirty and wet, so we made everything so that you could take it off, wash it, clean it, etc. So the paint that we've used is all washable paint, and then all of the pillow covers and stuff are removable. So these covers we took off. It's actually a double duvet cover that we cut in half, had it sewed up to the right shape, right length, and then we retained the buttons on the end of the duvet cover so that you can just undo the buttons. You can take this whole bed sheet cover off, wash it in the washing machine, normal washing machine, and then put it back on, and it's nice and clean and fresh. But it also means you could make your own. If you wanted to change these, get new ones, you just go get another duvet cover set from Tesco's anywhere, and then just all you have to do is basically cut it in half and then you sew it up, and then that comes to the right size. To then redo your bed, to put it back up, I put this little handle in here which is attached to this piece, but all you need to do is slide that back up there, pull those forward a little bit. Now you just take this little handle, you lift that back end up so that it sits on top of the other piece, and then lift the front end up with a little bit of wiggling. There we go. And then all you do is push it in, and that should, there we go, sit back into its slots here, so it can't come forward when you're driving at all. That's all made out of 18mm ply, so it's super strong. I weigh 95 kilos, my girlfriend weighs 60, and we both slept on here, absolutely no problems. The whole bed is held up by this massive piece of framing here. Obviously these bits are beam frame and this, so it's super strong. And I did reinforce it as well with a piece of metal profile, so it's all reinforced. And I think that is absolutely everything. Like I mentioned before, we haven't put a diesel heater in, which could go, there's loads of space under these seats which we use for storage, but could go anywhere under the seats. There's also a space under there. Like I said, the battery is there, and then there's a spare space in front of that battery which could go. The floor is this kind of rustic style. These are laminate. They look like wooden pieces, but these are laminate pieces. They're really hard wearing. Again, for the dogs, we made it so that it's really hard wearing, really tough, so it can be scraped and cut, scuffed and kicked, and it can just be hoovered out and white and completely mopped, and then it's nice and clean. And then the only probably other thing to show you is that these sides are not pristine. There is some little scuffs and marks on them, like dirt, like black marks from where we've actually lived in this van. Like I said, we lived in it for 8 weeks, so you can see these little scuffs and marks. But I do have the exact paint. I've got half a tin of this paint left over, the same colour, etc., which I will obviously give with the van when I sell it, so that if you wanted to, you could paint all of these sides again and they'll all look brand spanking new. Or equally, you could quite simply give these a little sand, and you could paint all of these cabinets and wardrobes a different colour, and then you could have a completely different style van. Up to you. And other than that, that is absolutely everything. So if you have any questions or you want to see anything else, let me know, give me a message. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you soon.